Should we talk about Rudy Giuliani?
Yes, please.
Giuliani has an interesting defense about this. Apparently, the story is, we should say Merrick Garland was confirmed about 6 weeks ago. And his sort of deputies confirmed over the past couple of weeks, which gives some more credence to this story, that there was an attempt to get a warrant of from Rudy Giuliani for the past 2 years, but the Trump DOJ squashed it. And so when Garland came in, all this stuff was just already teed up. Here's Rudy Giuliani on Tucker Carlson talking about why this is an illegal warrant.
Donald Trump's. They could have been Vladimir Putin's. They could have been anybody's. But they relied on me, the man who had to be raided in the morning, because I'm going to destroy the evidence. I've known about this for 2 years, Tucker. I could have destroyed the evidence a year. I didn't destroy the evidence because the evidence is exculpatory. It proves that the president and I and all of us are innocent. They're the ones who are committing. It's like projection. They're committing the crimes. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, may I just interject to say it's, I think, literally projection. So from what we have read in the press, the Department of Justice wants to know whether you violated FARA, the Foreign Agents Registration Act, in representing foreign nationals, Ukrainians, for pay. You didn't register. They're saying that may have been a crime. We know for a fact that Hunter Biden did that. He didn't register under FARA. He represented Ukrainians. He probably made a lot more than you did. He also represented Chinese nationals, lobbying his dad. And he has not been charged with a FARA violation. Am I missing something here?
Yeah, you're missing, equal administration of justice, which is what we don't have anymore.
Well, did you notice though that Giuliani almost gave it away and then he sort of backed off this? He said, I've known about this for 2 years.
Why would I just, and then he mentioned destruction of evidence.
Merrick Garland wasn't at the DOJ. Yeah. And so his argument is the reason why you get a warrant is because, and this is a narrowly tailored argument, that if we don't search him, he will destroy the evidence. So there would have to be a belief that the evidence was already gone by this point. And so he's trying to defend himself by saying, like, I've had this evidence for 2 years. So it's like, if I was going to destroy it, I would have already destroyed it. And then he realizes, like, oh, wait, my narrative is that this is the Biden administration coming after me exclusively. And this is made out of whole cloth. But wait a second, I just said that I've known about this investigation for 2 years, which means that it didn't start under Biden. And then he says, but the evidence is exculpatory anyways, which is why I'm so mad that they took it.
Yeah, I mean, the Hunter Biden thing is clearly the party line here, because Trump called in to Maria Bartiromo's show. Was that in the morning? Because, again, he was very drowsy sounding. We covered it yesterday. What about Hunter Biden? What about Hunter Biden? Okay, we're not talking about Hunter Biden. We're talking about Rudy Giuliani. And anybody with 2 ears and 2 eyes, or maybe just one of each, can tell that this guy's up to shady business. And, like, was he even officially a part of the administration when he was making these decisions about the Ukrainian ambassador and involving himself in that way? No, right? So
what Biden?
No, Giuliani, a part of the Trump administration.
Oh, no, he was never part of the Trump administration.
Right.
The president's personal attorney.
Exactly. Go on, Sam.
Well, first off, there is an investigation of Hunter Biden. A. Yeah. B. Hunter Biden, I don't know who he was lobbying when he was working for the Chinese or the Ukrainians, because his father was not in office at that time.
Right. And he's not, yeah.
There's no doubt.
He is not Joe Biden's personal attorney who is involving himself in current politics.
There's no doubt that Hunter Biden got his jobs because his name was Biden, and people thought it was advantageous. That happens quite often in business, is my understanding.
Something the Trump kids would know nothing about.
Right. But I don't know who Biden was supposedly lobbying. His dad, with all the evidence that's out there, his dad was not in government at that time. So, but regardless, you cannot go to in front of the judge and say, I know I did this, but Hunter Biden did worse. Is not a defense. I mean, Hunter Biden, they're investigating him. And if he's guilty of this stuff, good, get him, lock him up. If he's not, good, don't lock him up. That doesn't matter. If Giuliani had no illegal jeopardy, I imagine he would just say, like, I have no legal jeopardy. But of course, he also wants to get on TV, so he may be psyched about the whole thing.
Lastly, just really quickly, Lucy, did you guys notice how Tucker was leading Rudy to the down the path?
Oh, sure, yeah.
To kind of get him out of trouble there. He was like, so this is like, let me craft this narrative for you, my guest that I'm supposedly interviewing as a journalist.
Yeah, totally. No, he does that. Yeah. I remember, I'm doing that with Trump too. It's like he leads people.
He must be sitting, like, his internal dialogue must be like, this guy's such a lunatic and an idiot. This is easy. I mean, I go on TV every night, spout white supremacy talking points and barely any accountability. This guy can't come on and create a narrative that's going to make him sound decent. Yeah. That's got to be his internal monologue.
Tucker does a lot of work for the right in this way, and he kind of catches the short end of the stick sometimes. I think we missed this clip when it happened, but when he interviewed Matt Gaetz, and the news with Matt Gaetz coming out yesterday from his former associate about relationships with, underage women, potentially, allegedly. Here's Matt Gaetz kind of also leading Tucker into a narrative that needs to be squashed by Tucker.
Again, I only know what I've read in the New York Times. I can say that actually you and I went to dinner about 2 years ago. Your wife was there, and
Brendan.
I brought a friend of mine. You'll remember her. And she was actually threatened by the FBI, told that if she wouldn't cop to the fact that somehow I was involved in some pay-for-play scheme, that she could face trouble. And so I do believe that there are people at the Department of Justice who are trying to smear me, providing for flights and hotel rooms for people that you're dating who are of legal age is not a crime. And I'm just troubled that the lack of any sort of legitimate investigation into me would then convert into this extortion attempt.
I don't remember the woman you're speaking of or the context at all, honestly, but
Yeah, that was when Sam and Brendan, you guys were both out. Matt and I covered that to great. I thought it was hilarious.
No.
Oh my God. He's done something terrible. I don't even remember the context of that.
Oh, I've never.
Sounds legit to me.
I don't ever remember us eating dinner before. In fact, this is the first time I've ever met you. Did you say your name was Matt?
He's done something terrible and bizarre. Tucker Carlson is.
Here is Andrew Giuliani. This is Rudy Giuliani's son. He's weighed in. I seem to remember Andrew Giuliani having a problem with that at one point. I can't, back in the day when he was a younger kid. I mean,
they were estranged, but brought back together because of the beauty of opportunism.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you start to look at your dad. If you're Andrew, you're looking at your dad and you're thinking he's getting older. He's gotten a lot more wealthy since from 15, 20 years ago when he was just a mayor and coming out of now he's made millions upon millions of dollars in Homeland Security contracts and gotten paid a ton of money for all this stuff. And you look
Trump's
at your dad,
lawyer's fees. He was getting paid $50,000 a day to chase the.
No, he was not. That's what he was hoping to get. There's no way that Trump paid him that kind of money. And Trump just basically said, "Rudy, guess what? I'm not going to give you the money, but I will quash the warrant into what you've been doing." And so if you're Andrew Giuliani, you're looking at your dad and you're thinking he's probably not going to be with us for very long. So I'm getting a little sentimental. this old money bags here. Here's Giuliani.
So would your father turn on Trump to protect himself if that's what it takes?
I can't believe I'm answering something from Michael Cohen. I mean, no, I mean, there is, I don't really know how to respond to this because it's a theoretical. My father represented the president in good faith, and I don't, this is all theoretical. If there was.
Can we pause it for a second? Remember just the other day when he mistook the word theoretical for conspiratorial?
Yes, that was yesterday. We covered it in the fun half.
Who did? Andrew Giuliani did?
Andrew Giuliani on Newsmax tried to he said this is all theoretical. I don't want to sound too theoretical.
I'm starting to feel bad for him.
Yeah, he is not the brightest.
Andrew, it is unusual for a prosecutor to do such a thing to a lawyer, especially like you said, the former president of the United States lawyer. Mm-hmm. This feels like a purely political play here.
Well, it was signed, the search warrant was signed by an Obama judge. And now, look, I don't want to be too theoretical on this, but we've seen just how.
He took conspiracy theory and it was the wrong end.
I know it's either conspiracy or theory about this.
Just
that
go with it.
All right, so go back to this one where he's being asked. I mean, this is funny because the proper answer is, would he turn on Donald Trump? How could he have anything on Donald Trump? Donald Trump didn't do anything either. And
it's really that easy.
Yeah. But he gets, you wonder, I don't know what Trump could do for Rudy Giuliani anymore, but you wonder why Andrew is hesitating here. Remember there was a joke that Giuliani did, was like, would I be worried? I'm not worried because I know all the bodies are buried here. He said something to that effect in the later.
Right. He might be making a conscious message to Trump here by not.
Who knows?
My father represented the president in good faith, and I don't, this is all theoretical. If there was something illegal that happened, there was nothing illegal that happened.
Well, so, even on the registering as a foreign lobbyist, just to make the point, right? I've made the point that anything else they find they could bring, but on that alone, what the warrant was for, right? You could have up to 5 years in prison. I mean, that's 5 years in prison for that charge that they have a warrant for alone. So, I mean, it's a legitimate question. If your dad's looking, if they're able to charge, and they haven't, investigation is to the point where they charge, 5 years in prison, or tell me a few more details here about the former president.
Well, what I would say is I do wonder if Hunter Biden's going to be charged with some FARA, with the FARA allegations that are out there against him. So in terms of that, that's where I wonder. I'm very confident my dad did everything that he did on the up and up. So that's where I'll leave it there. I trust him. I trust his relationship with the president. And I know he's a man of integrity when it comes to his representation of the 45th president of the United States.
Erin Burnett had a little grin there. She knew that she was kind of role playing as the prosecutor who's offering Mini Giuliani the plea deal, right?
Exactly.
And you kind of see Andrew just drooling a little, yeah, that does sound like a good deal. Just give a few details. I mean, Rudy will flip on him if it comes to that in a second, and it'll be the beautiful grand finale to all of the Trump allies jumping off the ship.
Is this the first time he's showing up? Have we seen Rudy Giuliani's son before?
Well, like I say, I haven't seen him in 15 years when he was more or less a teenager.
Was he in the news?
He was in the news at the time because he didn't like his dad. He didn't
okay.
15, 20 years ago. So
we also shared on the show yesterday that Andrew Giuliani was the domestic political ambassador to sports in the Trump administration, but was on the Duke golf team in the late aughts, but was kicked off the team his sophomore year because he threw an apple at a teammate and smashed his club in the course parking lot, Billy Madison, or not?
Yes, Billy Madison.
Do you think that Giuliani was sitting there going when she says 5 years in prison, and he's just can I consult with my estate lawyer before I answer that question as to whether he would go?
I also do like how they are trotting Andrew Giuliani out there too, just because anytime Rudy goes on a network that isn't even Fox, and it's like a 50-50 like shot if he'll mess up on Fox anyway, but he can't talk to somebody who's actually going to interview him. I mean, he's just going to step in it. So they've got to put the Sun out there, you know?
Well, it's also the case that the Sun is also a little bit of a danger on, I mean, it appears to be on anything beyond like, you know, he's on CNN, but it was tenuous.
It was touch and go
tenuous.
there.
The fumble on the would he flip on Trump? I didn't even. That's completely theoretical.
Yeah. I mean, Aaron Burnett was like shooting fish in a barrel there.
Yep.